Hello, it's your favorite sports thunk here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry.
I have a question before you go. What do you think for the Dolphins? What is the answer to get over the hump? What is the answer for the Dolphins to be able to get over the hump? Obviously having a tremendous regular season. Obviously, we know, not understanding, they didn't really beat anybody over 500. I think besides one team, it might have been the Cowboys.
Beat the Cowboys,
if I'm not
one
mistaken.
team.
Yeah. Okay. So what do they need to do over the hump so they can contend and get over the hump of the first round of the playoffs and actually be in contention year in, year out?
They were without a lot of their guys. You remember Jalen Phillips is out, Xavier Howard out, Bradley Chubb is out. They probably have 4 or 5 starters out. The question is, Tua. He has great numbers, but in big moments, in big games, can he get it done? That's the question that he's going to have. Only he can answer that. Because in a game like this, you need somebody that can be able to drive the ball. Because that's what happens, Ocho. It's fine to play in a controlled. I mean, normally you're going to get pretty good weather in Miami. It might rain. Now, that's probably, you're not going to get, likelihood of you getting snow is not very good. So you might get a deluge. But the thing is, you go to Buffalo. What's the weather going to be like in Buffalo? We know they had to postpone the game. New England. You get them late in the season. You know what the weather's going to be. You might get snow. You're going to get wind. So New York. So you have to ask yourself, his moments are really, really good, but there's too much. There's this, you get into the camera. This is his ceiling, and this is his floor. There's not enough in between. It's either here or it's here. It needs to be more in between because I think they got enough pieces. Offensive line, maybe you can add a piece or two there. They can run the football. Achan Mostert is a Pro Bowler, 18 rush touchdowns. They got Tyreek, they got Waddle, they got receivers, Kai Kraft, they got Wilson Jr. They got guys that can make plays. So that's not the issue. The question is he's the guy long term that can get you over that hump.
Right. So do you think defensively, if some of those guys, Phillips, Xavier Howard was in, Bradley Chubb was healthy, do you think the outcome would have been different?
You talk about guys, those are guys that you paid big dollars to, Ocho. Those are guys that have been to Pro Bowl. I don't know if Phillips has been to the Pro Bowl, but Chubb and Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard didn't one year, Xavier Howard have 10 picks?
Oh, yeah. I think that might have been 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, one or the other.
And you see they were taking advantage of the middle of the field. They were working on that third corner. So you see Rice was eating. He was eating number 4. He's like, Krispy Kreme. The hot light on. Yeah. They crispy. They just took Ocho. They just took them off. They just took about the grease. That's the question, Miami. I think honestly, and people, if you're honest with yourself, you know I'm telling you the truth. The weak link is the quarterback.
That's so hard to say, especially with the numbers Tua put up this year. He put up some phenomenal numbers at one point where he was the MVP candidate. That's how well Tua was playing. It just, I don't understand, how do you get to a game of this magnitude and understanding what you have to do, already having film on playing the Chiefs, previously early in the season, knowing what they're going to do, and then still coming out and laying a goddamn egg, knowing what you got to do to execute against them to get them uncomfortable, as opposed to making us uncomfortable, which is what they made Tua. They made Tua extremely uncomfortable and never allowed him to get in the rhythm.
Gil, what you think Miami would look like if Mahomes was the quarterback and he had Waddle, he had Tyreek, he had Wilson Jr., Kai Kraft, and that running game? What do you think he would look like?
Listen, that wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair. That would be absolutely unfair. If anything, you might as well just ship the goddamn Lombardi down to Miami already.
We saw they were in the Super Bowl every year when he had Tyreek, or the AFC Championship game when he had Tyreek, and he was throwing for damn near. He threw for 5,000 yards. His first year started with Tyreek, so we know what he can do with Tyreek. Now, the thing was, Tyreek didn't have the kind of numbers. He didn't have the 1,800 yards. Where he had 1,799. I think he had 1,707 last year, 1,799 this year.
Right.
Because of Travis Kelce. So now that took some of those
yeah.
targets away. But I just think that's the question. I mean, when you look at what they got, how they can run the football with Achane and Mostert, and when you look at the wide receivers that they have, offensive line, maybe add a piece. I don't know who's going to be available in free agency, what they're going to do in the draft. Maybe they can add a piece, but I needed my quarterback that I'm going to probably have to pay 45, 50 million. I'm going to need him to give me better than 20 or 39, 199. I will need better than Ocho. I need it. Yeah. I need it. That's what I need. Ocho, that's crazy. This is the look. I don't pay you 45, 50 million for the regular season. I pay you for moments like this in games like this. Hell, I get anybody with this talent. Anybody should have been able to get them to the playoffs with the talent that the Miami Dolphins have. Now, what am I really paying you for? Moments like this.
Damn, man. That hurt. That hurt. I mean, as a Dolphin fan, obviously, you know I'm from Miami.
Yes, of
my
course.
allegiance is to the Bengals, but I would have loved to see them make a run. I would love to see them make a run in the AFC. And what bigger challenge than you already have film, you already have tape, you've already played them, you know what they're gonna do, you know what they do well, you know how to counter what they do well, and you know what you need to establish in order to be able to run your offense effectively. And we weren't able to do it.
That's your fault. Guess what? Where was week 18? Where was that game at between Buffalo and Miami? Tell the people that didn't know, that doesn't follow football like you and I, that just jumped into the chat. Tell them where that game was. In Miami. If you win that game, tell the people who are at home what happens. If they win that game in Miami against Buffalo, tell the people at home what happens.
Yeah. We at home. Beautiful, nice weather. Nice weather. But again, we played Buffalo already early in the season. You know what you need to do again to win that game. And you fold again. How you fold back-to-back weeks?
And Josh Allen gave you 2 interceptions. He turned the ball over twice in the end zone. So he took points.
Wait, 2 interceptions and a fumble. That's 3.
Yeah. So
that's tough, man. That's tough.
And then they got tonight. Tough. They got a couple of unnecessary roughness on the guys. You can't go low on the quarterback anymore. That's the Tom Brady rule. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't hit the quarterback below his waist. They're gonna throw that flag every time. Every time. Ever since Tom Brady got his knee blew out like that. Excuse me. I know you say, that's not, I understand. I was in the league when they let you hit the quarterback anywhere you wanted to, the top of his head or the bottom of his feet. That's no longer the case, Ocho. So you can't say, man, that's just football. That's not football anymore. That used to be football, but they've changed that. First of all, they've changed that rule for over a decade, Ocho. So you should have adapted by now, because most of the guys that's coming in, that's playing defense, they are, especially the guys that committed the foul. You wasn't in the rule. You wasn't in the league when you could do that anyway. So you've been on a different set of rules.
Yeah, for a while. So you already know better.
And you know they're not going to let you shove the quarterback down anymore, Ocho. Once he throws that ball, you best to just fly by. Because if you shove him to the ground, they're going to throw that flag. Christian Wilkins, bro, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, you know, he like to do a little poking and stuff, and he do too much of that funny stuff. I mean, I don't know what he did to Josh Allen, but he need to cut that foolishness out. He be doing.
He a ball player. I
ain't got no problem with that ball player, but all that stuff he be doing up under the foul.
Ball player.
I ain't with that. I ain't with all that now. Come on now. That's about necessary stuff, Ocho.
Right.
Go ahead. You will say?
No, I was gonna say just antagonizing the opponent. That's all. Just antagonizing.
I don't know the way Josh Allen jumped up from there. He was doing more than antagonizing. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what he was doing up under that pile. I mean, what, I don't know what he was doing under that pile, but the way Josh Allen hopped up from there. Whew. Yeah. Question. For both, is Miami in the same situation as the Rams a couple of years ago? Jared Goff couldn't make them plays. Seems like Tua's in the same. I mean,
to ask a question that I want you to answer, because I don't have the answers to it, but you would know better than me. Because they got all the goddamn pieces. They got all the pieces.
Jared Goff did get the Rams to the Super Bowl. Now, he only scored 3 points once he got there, but he did
Right.
get them there. But they felt, I give you a prime example. There's a reason why Andy Reid moved up 17 spots to take Patrick Mahomes. Alex Smith had him in the playoffs every year. Andy Reid believed that he could go much farther with someone with a stronger arm and was willing to push the ball down the field. And you saw every year they were going. The Chiefs were in the playoffs, but this offense went to another level. And you can say, "Oh, it's not," because Andy Reid had Donovan, and this offense, and it didn't look like what it looks like now. He had Alex Smith, and it didn't look like what it looked like now.
Yeah.
So that's the question that the Miami Dolphins are going to have to ask themselves. What's the real ceiling for us with Tua as our quarterback?
Well, the ceiling looked great all goddamn year. But like you said, you ain't paying nobody 40, 45 million for the regular season.
No, I ain't paying 45 million to beat bad teams. He only beat one good team. In 17 games, you only beat one team with a winning record, Ocho, and you want 50 million?
Right.
And then you give me 7 points. You gave me a 7 piece.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
Ocho, please.
And I like
Red Hood said, Ocho, please tell the Dolphins they need a new quarterback. Tua isn't the guy. He played himself today. He constantly tried to get Hill killed over his overthrows. He's just not good. I hope they don't fire McDaniel for him. Nah. I don't think Mike McDaniel going anywhere. I think he's proven, he has a great mind. Like I said, but Ocho. But when I look at the Dolphins and you look at the pieces now, they did have some guys that were out. I thought the defense, considering, played well because they kept them out of the end zone and gave their offense a chance. It's just their offense didn't do anything today. With the exception of that big throw to Tyreek, that was their entire offense. I mean, Mostert had 33 yards, Tua had 25 yards, Achane had 9 yards, Waddle had 9. What am I supposed to do with that, Ocho?
You're not gonna do much with that. You're not gonna do much with that stat line playing Madden. If you playing Madden with that stat line you just named, you're gonna lose the game.
17. They had 18 passes, 39 pass attempts.
You had ample opportunity. You had plenty of time. You got the ball back. The defense, like you said, did play well, minus all the injuries that we did have. They played well.
They played absolutely. They played unbelievable.
We gave you the ball back. It was 13-7. We gave you the ball back, I think, maybe 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, before they were able to get an actual field goal, and then someone started to put the game out of goddamn reach.
Yeah. Man, I don't think I've ever seen that. Did you see when Mahomes took off and he got hit and the piece of his helmet popped out?
His helmet, yeah. I saw that. I thought the helmet was supposed to be a lot more safer now.
I don't know if they really expected it to be out there in minus 23 degrees though.
Okay, you know what? That's right. That's right.
You know what? They probably factor stuff like that in. It just caught the right. It was cold. Got caught in the right spot.
Very cold,
and it snapped.
Yeah, that was crazy. I've never seen that before either.
Brandon Depot said, "Uncle Ocho, first time commented. Should the Fins go all out for Justin Fields? Ocho, that's your team. You like the Dolphins. Tell me what you would think they should do." You riding with Tua? You running it back with Tua one more year?
Yeah, I'm running back with Tua one more year. I'm running back with Tua. Matter of fact, is it time? Is it time? You know, I'm not sure contract wise. Is it time to pay him now, or would you run it back with him one more year?
So theoretically, this would be his 5th year option, if I'm not mistaken, coming up.
Right.
Which I think they picked up.
They picked it up already. Yes. I would think they run it back. I would think they run it back because it's times like this. You know, you gave us what you gave us in the regular season, but we're not paying you for that. We're paying you for what you can do in the postseason and what you're going to be able to lead us in years from now on. So I think that's what it comes into play. And Justin Fields,
I want to see Justin Fields. I want the homie to go to Atlanta.
Atlanta. Yeah, he got some nice stuff to work with over there too. Got some
And
real
he
nice
from
stuff
the
to work
Atlanta
with if he get
area. He
over
from
there.
the crib. He gonna be home.
Yeah.
He gonna be
Oh
home.
yeah.